Hi, everybody. Welcome to our 12th writing showcase at Wayne State University. I am so glad that you are here with us today or online asynchronously. I'm so proud of everyone who's worked so hard on the committee to make this happen in this new online format, which is maybe not what we would have chosen, but we're really grateful to be able to engage with everyone on this platform. I want to talk to you guys today about writing community. What is a writing community? I think a writing community is a lot like Lake Michigan, and I think it's a lot like the best comedic ensemble cast. I think it's a lot like the composition learning community. I'll tell you why. So, back in the fall of 2014, we piloted this composition learning community. We gathered together with a group of 10 volunteer peer mentors who were there because they wanted to help their fellow students, and they thought it was pretty cool that we would give them food at their meetings and a line on their CV when they were done. Little did we know that the CLC would grow into the student support organization that it has become, and we're so grateful for that. At the time, when we gathered everyone together, we had a couple of goals in mind, and the main one was to build community. Or, as it kind of came up in some of our early planning meetings, reveal a community that was already there. If you've taken composition at Wayne State, you know that there's a community there. There is a group of dedicated lecturers and teachers who pour themselves into lesson planning and curricular development and assessment. There are students, just like the students that have been in my classes this semester, who are working really hard to achieve their educational goals. There are support personnel like staff members and even mentor figures, people who I go to who are further ahead of me on my instructional track, and people who are my peers who I talk with just in solidarity. And the same is true in the student community. There are students who are further along the track and students who are in the trenches with you, who you can look to for that sense of commonality and support and like, is this is this what I think it is? Are we really writing this giant paper? Yes, we are. And that was one of the things that we knew peer mentors could help us with as we were thinking about developing a writing community or revealing the one that was already there. Peer mentors are students who have taken composition courses at Wayne State University. And we're not looking for always the top tier grade achievers. What we're looking for are students who went through their composition classes with a certain disposition, an attitude of a learner, someone with a growth mindset, someone who maybe didn't always get it right, but had this posture of wanting to learn, and in so doing, really grew. Those peer mentors we knew could help us reveal this writing community. And in that sense, this is how peer mentors can show us that a writing community is like Lake Michigan. Because if you've ever been to Lake Michigan, if you've ever seen the expanse of blue water that feels like an ocean but isn't, if you've ever splashed around in its waves and noted some of the birds that fly around or looked at the sand dunes and the lake grass that's there, you know about it. You've been there. And if you're trying to describe Lake Michigan to someone who's never been there, it can be really difficult, because how do you describe the feeling of being at Lake Michigan? Well, peer mentors have been there and they are coming back again, and they are the people that we want to be able to walk alongside folks who are coming to Lake Michigan for the first time. You want someone to be able to tell you, oh, don't walk on that dune, it's protected. Or, do you see that bird? That is a loon, or whatever. I'm just pulling birds out of the air right now. Not literally. Anyway, the thing about peer mentors is that they have been through the composition course and they know what it's like. They know what these writing assignments are like. They have had that disposition of a learner, a writer, really, because when you're a writer, you understand that you're always revising, and peer mentors are further along in their writing journey. And that's why we knew that peer mentors were going to be an integral part of what we do in the composition learning community. They help reveal the community that's already there because they've already been through these classes and experienced it. They've been around these teachers and have seen how instructors relate to students, and they've read the assignments and they know more what they mean because they've actually done the assignments and gotten feedback on them. So peer mentors help us see how our writing community is a lot like Lake Michigan. But so do our instructors and so do our students. A writing community is not a one-woman show. This thing called writing is a process that requires all hands on deck, even for one single piece of writing. I know for myself as a writer, I have a veritable team around me, from peers that I ask to read my actual work, or even if I'm talking to a journal, asking editors to read my proposals and give me feedback on them. There's that aspect of the literal, I'm reading your work, I'm giving you feedback, but there's a whole host of other team members. It's like the best ensemble cast in a comedy. And for me, that's the show The Office, which is one of my favorites of all time. But that is a true ensemble in that there's no one single star. That's arguable. We could say Michael Scott is the star, but he leaves and then the whole ensemble continues to work together. There's no wasted lines. There's always a moment of support to furthering the joke. And the whole cast works together to make it happen, from Meredith to Kevin to even Toby, right? There's always a useful look at the camera, a way to move the whole scene forward, and the whole cast works together to do that. And just like in that ensemble cast, a writing community isn't just about receiving feedback on your work. It's about furthering you forward in the project. And sometimes that means somebody brings you a breakfast sandwich. And sometimes it means that you just have somebody who can help you take a break and rest, but not quit. And sometimes it's a group of people that you can talk to about a project and describe how it's going, whether it's going well or poorly, and have people listen and understand what you're going through. So a writing community is a lot like Lake Michigan, and it's a lot like an ensemble cast working together in lots of different ways to keep moving the writer forward. And in a writing community like the composition learning community, the lucky thing is that we're all writers. So we're all helping each other move forward together. So the composition learning community demonstrates this idea of a writing community in the ways that I've just described. And for me personally, I'd just like to share how the CLC has influenced me as a teacher of writing. And that has been to help me think more about the full ecology of this writing community that goes within my classroom, but beyond my classroom. There are members of this writing community, former students who come back as peer mentors, former students who just come back around and say, hey, students who are currently going through my classes, students who are in classes that are before the classes that I teach that I'm just meeting perhaps at an event like the Writing Showcase. My fellow teachers who work together in the CLC to reveal this writing community. We do it by meeting together. We do it by collectively training and supporting our peer mentors. And we do it collectively by planning this writing showcase that is really this beautiful, tangible event that really demonstrates how many of us acknowledge this writing community that we're all in, this composition writing community or learning community. So I'm really grateful to be with you guys today, and I'm happy to work together with you, members of my writing community. I hope that you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will talk to you elsewhere on this Facebook event. Bye, everybody.